If your money isn't in good shape before the next economic downturn, you could lose everything you worked hard for your whole life. During a financial crisis, it's not uncommon for people to lose jobs they thought they'd have forever, have their retirement savings cut in half, or have the bank take back their house. On top of the financial stress, all of these mishaps have long-term effects on health and make relationships hard. You see, when the economy is doing well for a long time, it's easy to forget about bad times. But there's a time when the effects of slowdowns should be minimized. When the economy goes down, people who are financially stable can take advantage of a lot of great opportunities. This can give them a chance to make more money than they could ever imagine. I want you to be in this position. And in this video, let's talk about how you can set yourself up for success when the next recession comes. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and that little notification bell icon so that you don't miss out on any of our video updates. Plus, it has to spread the Thrive Wise love to help more people thrive wisely. Now, let's begin. So, what exactly is a recession? A recession is when the economy slows down a lot and stays slow for more than a few months. This could be due to a number of things, such as inflation. This is the time when prices go up and the dollar gets weaker. And on the other hand, deflation, when the prices go down and the dollar buys more, or rising interest rates. Most of the time, these problems lead to more people being unemployed, less consumer confidence, business owners going out of business, and even people losing their homes. Because of these things, the stock market usually goes down when investors panic, lose faith, and pull their money out of the market. At any point in the economic cycle, one way to improve your finances is to live below your means and spend less than you earn. The difference between what you earn and what you spend is what you use to invest for your future and pay down debt. Unfortunately, many people fall into the trap of increasing their expenses in proportion to their income, which leads to a never-ending cycle of barely getting by when they get a raise. The phrase "live below your means" might make you think of the words dull or boring. But there are a lot of good things that will happen in your life when you start to do this. I know this because I have 4 main sources of income right now. I have a job, and I make money through my skills and on YouTube. This is not to brag, but the obvious benefit is that I make more money. Let me explain why I look at my money this way. I don't say this often, but I have a lot of financial anxiety. I worry that one day I'll lose my job, make a bad investment, or get into a bad spending habit. Having more than one source of income gives me peace of mind that I have my finances covered if something goes wrong. Having more than one source of income is also more common than you might think. Did you know that most millionaires have 7 ways to make money? They don't depend on a single paycheck from their job to pay their mortgage, car payments, and other bills. This means they don't have to worry about being laid off. When your income is diversified, you have less reason to worry if one stream dries up. If you live below your means and spread out your income, you'll be able to pay your bills if something bad happens. The chance that one of your income streams will take off is probably the best reason to have more than one way to make money. For example, someone with a 9-to-5 job might start working in hair salons in the evenings and on the weekends. The business of beauty parlors and hair salons turned out to be a huge hit, with people waiting in line to get that little boost on their confidence. It ends up paying much more per hour than their 9-to-5 job, so they can now quit their full-time job and focus on their salon business, which makes them double or triple what they're making at their main job. This is why side jobs or starting a side business can also be profitable. And now let's talk about debt. But before that, I'd like you to help me out in some way. Immediately pause this video and please do me a huge favor by clicking like, and if you are new, kindly click subscribe. If you did, you're great and we really appreciate your help. Rest assured we'll bring you more videos that will help you thrive wisely. And going back, where were we? Oh right, debt. Not every situation calls for paying off debt. To put it simply, it makes sense to pay off high-interest debt quickly and make only minimum payments on low-interest debt. Instead of spending every extra dollar you have to pay off your low-interest loans as soon as possible, you could invest that money to earn more interest than what you're paying. Ask yourself if it would be smart to invest extra money that could earn you a 10% return instead of paying off a debt with a 3% interest rate. This makes sense from a mathematical point of view. But some people don't take into account the fact that your monthly needs will be very low if you have little or no debt. Think about how little you spend each month if you don't have to pay off a car, a student loan, a credit card, or a mortgage. Compared to someone who is deep in debt, this puts you in a much better position in case of a recession and the possible risks that come with it. Don't worry about how much better you'll sleep at night. This brings us to the other side of this argument. Even if you have chances to make more money, you may decide to pay off your debts instead. For example, you can get a 10% return in the market, but you opt to put your money into student loans instead and end up paying them off. Even though you lost some potential returns, you gain peace of mind and one less creditor coming after you every month if the market goes down. But what really needs to be thought about is what comes from people spending money. How many times have you bought something you later wish you hadn't? That brand new car you bought is now dented and has a lot of mechanical problems. It's worth almost nothing. What about that timeshare you were sold while on vacation? Or that 350-person wedding you had with your now ex-husband or ex-wife? I mean, there's nothing wrong with spending money on these things if they make you happy. The problem is when people buy big and small things without thinking twice about it. If you keep spending money on things you don't care about in a few days, weeks, or even months after you buy them, your money will run out. You'll wonder where all of your hard-earned money went if you continually do this habit. When you lose your job or your retirement savings are cut in half because of a market crash, you'll be glad you thought twice before buying that expensive item, or maybe you carefully thought about whether or not you want to splurge. Not only that, but you'll get more joy out of each dollar you spend if you don't buy something you'll forget about soon after. When the stock market crashes or when there's a recession, it can feel like the end of the world as you know it. You may ask yourself, will things ever go back to how they used to be? You see, the average recession happens about every 4 years and lasts about a year and a half. The average bear market, which is when stocks drop at least 20%, happens about every 3.5 years and lasts between 9 and 10 months. The average drop in the stock market during these times is about 35%. In short, the stock market falls by an average of 35% every 3.5 years. But don't worry, it usually bounces back in less than a year. When your investments lose a lot of value, it can be scary, especially as you get older and may not be able to get the same amount of money back. That's your hard-earned money that's almost vanishing into thin air. But these things are much easier to deal with when you look at history and know exactly what to expect. When you keep in mind that markets aren't always good, you'll be more likely to prepare your portfolio for bad times and stay away from things that you wouldn't want to own when bad things happen. So keep your leverage at a safe level at all times. This means that you shouldn't borrow more money than you'd be happy to have during all market cycles. When the economy has been good for a few years, buying stocks on credit seems like a good idea. But what happens when things go bad? Do you still think that's a good idea, or do you have too much debt? What about your home equity line, which lets you borrow against a huge chunk of your home's value, leaving you with little or no equity? If you can easily pay the bills now, what will happen if your income goes down? Borrowing money can be good, but you have to be very careful not to use too much of it. Keeping in mind how the market works will help you avoid this. The worse the market or economy is, the more chances there are to make money. Be afraid when others are greedy, and greedy when others are afraid, is a famous quote from Warren Buffett. When investors are able to buy assets at a discount, they usually make a lot of money. When these assets reach their all-time highs, buying the debt fell under the basic investment principle of buy low, sell high, which is similar to timing the market. Timing the market perfectly can be very hard. A simple but effective strategy is to buy stocks when their prices drop sharply and plan to hold on to them for a very long time. In fact, if I had to pick one type of person who does best during a recession, it would be those who think about the long term. It's people who can see 10 years into the future and know that buying assets now might go against their feelings, but it can set them up for success in the long run. People who play to win tomorrow often do better than those who play to win today. However, investing during a recession is only a good idea if you have a lot of cash on hand. For those who have extra cash to invest, a recession could be a sign of an opportunity. It's easy to forget how things looked during past recessions, especially for younger people who don't remember them. When the economy is doing well and seems unstoppable, those bad times seems like a long time ago. Remembering these times and being ready for them will put you in a much better position to handle a loss of income or a big drop in the value of your portfolio. Well, that's basically how you survive during a recession. And thank you guys so much for watching today's video. And hey, it seems like YouTube thinks that the next video can completely transform your financial situation. Watch it to find out whether they're correct. And please don't forget to click the subscribe button to see more videos on how to thrive wisely. Till next time.